Good morning to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So at the outset, I am very much thankful to Department of ENTC, RSUE, Coordinator Dr. Pisikar Madam and entire team for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to share my views on AI, that is artificial intelligence, machine learning and deep learning. Before that, I would like to really congratulate organizers for organizing this 2 weeks MTP on very interesting topic, that is AI and its application in biomedical engineering. As you know that AI is really now coming up and it has many applications in multiple verticals. And biomedical engineering, smart healthcare is really now a new era where most of the countries are investing a lot of revenue in smart healthcare as well as biomedical engineering. So it's really good topic, and definitely I would like to also congratulate all participants for being a part of this online faculty development program. Thank you very much, madam, for introduction. I have one request to all the participants to note down the questions as much as you can in your notebook so that we can, I will try to solve your all questions at the end of this presentation. That's the reason why I am here, as I had done many projects in artificial intelligence as well as machine learning post PhD, basically. And as you know that this entire world is now talking about AI, machine learning, and deep learning. So, title of my presentation is basically AI, ML, and DL myths and realities. So, my objective is first to make you understand fundamentally what is a vertical difference between AI, ML, and DL, or rather how these three fields are interrelated. And then there is a lot of confusion amongst researchers. You know that even there is no need of machine learning. People are using machine learning to solve that particular problem. So let us try to understand exactly, when do we really require artificial intelligence? If there is no need to apply deep learning, still people are applying deep learning. So let us have very clear understanding about when to switch from machine learning to deep learning, why to go for deep learning, then when you are really using deep learning, then what infrastructure do you require to implement deep learning algorithms and so on. So I think before I start with my presentation, let me share my screen. Is my slide visible?
Yes, sir.
First slide, AI, ML, and DL.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I have one question to all the participants before I proceed. My question is, can you tell me why today entire world is talking about machine learning and deep learning? Why not before 5 years or 7 years? Anyone? Please feel free to express yourself because then only I will have clear understanding about where you have your understanding is, so that from that point onwards I can take it ahead. My question is very simple. Can you answer that why today we are talking about machine learning and deep learning? Why not before 5 to 7 years? Anyone? Anyone, please? Any participant would like to answer this question? No one? Please unmute your, or maybe you can post your responses in the chat box, or you can unmute and you can reply, please. My question is, why today we are talking about machine learning and deep learning extensively as compared to, if you go down the line before 5 years or 7 years. Anyone? Yes? Okay. Fine. So answer to this question is basically, data. Because day by day, number of devices which are connected to internet are increasing at faster rate. Okay, this is the first reason. And then when data is increasing, earlier storing this data and moving from this data from one place to another place was major concern. But today, database management is not the issue, but what is issue is making sense out of this big data. This is first thing. Okay, so data is a main oil for any AI, ML, and DL application. Very clear. So you can see what is title of my presentation is AI, ML, DL, and DS. So that is what is next. Very interesting buzzword today is data science, right? This is first thing. So please try to understand data is, or rather I should say big data is the main key enabler for being this AI, ML and DL more popular, extensively popular nowadays as compared to, 5 years or before 5 years or 7 years. First point. Second point is if you will look around, most of the operations are being automated. So when we say most of the operations are being automated, what does it mean? Human intervention is going to being optimized day by day. So when human intervention is being optimized day by day means what? Machines are replacing human. Okay. So we want machine to take decision. We want machine to act. We want machine to think. We want machine to decide. And that's the reason, today, if you'll see most of the, or rather digitization means automation means replacing machine by human by machine. And that is another reason why we're talking about artificial intelligence and machine learning and deep learning today. Now, when it does not mean that AI is new. Okay, AI was there even when I was doing my engineering in 96 to 98, 99. I had also subject artificial intelligence in my curriculum, right? But at that time, and even most of you, those who are attending this faculty development program, even you must have studied this subject in your maybe undergraduate studies or postgraduate studies, right? But objective of that subject was something different, and objective of that subject was to basically data mining and the imparting some amount of intelligence in some operations. Okay, so that was the objective when I used to study this subject in my undergraduate program. But now, when you look at AI, the objective is completely different. Okay, and then that's the reason we will see what exactly the partition is there, or rather how these three words AI, ML, and DL are related. Is it fine? I have again one strong appeal to all the participants. Please note down questions in your notebook so that at the end of my presentation, definitely I will try to make all questions clear so that there should be more takeaways from this session. Okay. So now moving ahead, already I've been introduced. I'm working with Sinhagad Institute. You can see there are two logos on my first slide. I represent Sinhagad Institute as well as Savitribai Phule Pune University in various capacities. Okay, so now as the word indicates, artificial intelligence. Okay, so this is not a new branch. It was, as already I have mentioned, this was there. So when you talk about AI, fundamentally it is basically one of the branch of computer science, and the main objective was to have automated data mining, right? And we also call it as artificial intelligence. Basic example of AI, there are many examples like spam email. Very most of the time we experience this, that very general or common and important email sometimes goes to spam, right? So this is again a very interesting example where you have no solution. But now there are there are a lot of research carried out in this field of filtering spam and non-spam email, so that spam only will go to spam and or rather other folder, and your important email will go to inbox, right? So why I'm sharing this example, because parallelly when you talk about something, you should also think about its application, so that the use case will be very clear, that yes, this is what the place where I can apply machine learning. Now you know that the main theme of your FDP is how to apply AI in biomedical engineering, right? So I will also share some examples like how to apply artificial intelligence and machine learning in healthcare. Recently, I have submitted my one book to Springer, and name of the book is Data Science Foundation for Healthcare IoT. Right. So in that book, I have tried to add around 16 to 17 use cases, so that reader will have clear picture that yes, this is how where data science will play an important role in the entire healthcare ecosystem. Is it fine? So moving ahead, as I have started with this point that there has been a lot of attempt and still attempts are going on to replace your machine by machine your human with a machine, but machine should behave like a human brain. But now let's see to what extent it will be succeeded, because there are still some areas, there are still some domain where uh, application of AI, machine learning and deep learning is still doubtful. Okay, so please try to understand what is the objective. So when we require learning, right? So most of the time, even today, when you select a problem, all are requested to mute themselves, please. I think a couple of participants are unmuted and there is a noise which is being created. So I request all participants to please mute themselves. Okay. So the objective is to replace your human by a machine, and machine should think, machine should work as a human brain. But again, there are some areas where application of machine learning and deep learning is still questionable. We'll see that. So when we require learning, so first try to understand. Okay, when or without having a need of machine learning, we should not apply machine learning and deep learning to solve particular problem. Is it clear? So first point, when it is too difficult or too expensive to program a particular problem solution directly to perform a task, then we should use machine learning. This is first and most important point. Okay, so example is spam filtering, where programming is too difficult because lots of email comes to your inbox, and there is no one user. If you take example of Gmail, we cannot even anticipate how many users are there using Gmail ID, right? So first point, when it is too difficult or too expensive to program the solution to perform a task. Second point, where human expertise does not exist. So there are some applications like navigating on Mars, or remote doing performing some operation, performing some task remotely at some remote geographical places where human expertise does not exist. Try to understand. Third point, where humans are unable to explain their expertise, like speech recognition. Okay, so there are many applications, so you should identify application where one of this four point is applicable. Okay, so there are many applications like speech recognition where humans are unable to explain their expertise. Is it clear? Then last point is when there are some applications where solution is dynamic, solution changes with time, like in computer network example, like routing on computer network is again a runtime solution depending on the traffic and other network parameters. Fine. So these are four situations where you should apply learning. So learning, I'm not making it specific whether it is machine learning or whether it is deep learning. So it is basically a learning. Okay, and then when it comes to learning, then machine learning is one of the technique, deep learning is one of the technique. We'll see that again fundamentally with the example, so that you will have very clear understanding about these three buzzwords. And then finally, I will also try to discuss about data science. Okay, so when we have one of the situation like this, then we think of applying or solving some underlying problem with machine learning or deep learning. So what is there are some technical examples like density calculation, regression. So we will see these examples in the coming slide, but try to understand what is machine learning. It's basically a writing a parameterized program and let a learning algorithm find set of parameters that best approximate the desired function or desired behavior. So don't forget, any AI program, machine learning program or deep learning program is always parameterized. And what is important parameter to this program is your data. Okay, this is a fundamental point when you talk about learning. Is it fine? So now, what is learning? So these are some situations where you can see, there is a lot of debate. Still the debate is going on that if machines will replace human, then what about the employment? Okay, but don't, when you look at this figure, you can see that machine is doing decision, machine is doing learning, machine is doing prediction, machine is doing a job of recognizing something, machine is doing the job of analyzing something, or a machine is also doing job of remember. So these 6 points are the main functionalities of learning, or these 6 points are the main outcome of learning. Okay, but don't forget, when you are expecting machine to do these 6 tasks, who is programming machine? There is only human who is programming machine. So don't worry, even human machines are replacing human. There is no threat of unemployment to the human, because human can only program machine. Is it fine? Okay, so now let's when you talk about the 6 outcomes of the machine learning, when you talk about, sorry, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So when you talk about the 6 outcome of applying learning to solve some problem, so definitely I will expect from participant. Can you give me example where machine have to decide something? Anyone? Participant, please feel free to express yourself. Don't worry, your answer can get wrong, doesn't matter. Yes. So anyone, can you give me example where machine decides something? Yes. Anyone? Please be responsive. Yes. Anyone? Any example where machine have to decide? Okay. Any example where machine will do a job of prediction? So, weather prediction is basically an example of machine learning where machine predicts something, right? Recognizing object detection by machine is another example where machine learning is used to recognize something. Okay, so these are basically different areas where you can apply machine learning. And if you take example of smart healthcare or medical imaging, you know that nowadays all your imaging tools are also becoming smart, and primary prediction is carried out by machine only. So when you talk about primary prediction is carried out by machine by analyzing images. So this is an example where in healthcare or medical imaging, your analysis part is done by machine. Okay. Now, when you really come to the implementation of this machine learning algorithms, you will find it very interesting, because working on machine learning algorithm using some data set and then applying that algorithm on that data set, and then finding the confusion matrix, accuracy parameter, performance parameter is really interesting, irrespective of you do it in MATLAB, you do it in Java, or you do it in Python, doesn't matter. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. So what is important is when you look at this figure, what is happening inside machine. So always when you consider any program of machine learning as a black box, always there is input as a data and output is one of these 6 outcomes. Output can be a decision, output can be a learning, output can be prediction, or it can be recognizing something out of n number of objects, analyzing something, or remember something. So now what we are interested in, understanding what is happening from one end where data is given as an input, and second end where output is one of the 6 parameters. Okay, so when you talk about machine learning algorithm, okay, then one should think, because nowadays you all will agree with me, the research and implementation in machine learning is very, very limited. Why? Because even researchers are taking data set, applying existing machine learning algorithm, and then forming a confusion matrix, and then declaring that this algorithm is better for this particular data set, and that is how the comparison. I hope you all are agree with me. Okay, but This is not expected by researchers, those who are doing research in machine learning. What is expected is you study existing machine learning algorithm and then design your own new algorithm on the top of it, and then maybe you can do some kind of benchmarking by comparing the results of your own algorithm with existing the various machine learning algorithms which are present in the literature. Okay, so now when you talk about any machine learning algorithm, so again I would like to ask question to the participant that can anybody answer what is fundamental technique which is used in any machine learning or deep learning algorithm? Any participant would like to answer my question? Please be responsive. You can write your answer in the chat box, no problem. Anyone, any participant? What is fundamental entity which is responsible for any machine learning or deep learning algorithm? Anyone? Anyone? No one is ready. There are more than 90 participants attending this FDP, so I'm expecting at least answer from couple of participants. Don't worry, your answer can be wrong, doesn't matter. Please feel free to express yourself. Yes. What is the basis for any machine learning or deep learning algorithm? When you take any, let's say when you take support vector machine, when you implement k-means algorithm, right? Or when you implement any Bayes algorithm. So or even when you simply use which one? Regression algorithm. Okay, pattern matching. There is an answer when repetitive task is required to be done. Very good. Okay, sorry, I didn't see the chat. Now I can see the chat box. Okay, so what is my question is, yeah, fundamental operation is training, feature extraction, and analysis. I agree. These are the functionalities of any machine learning algorithm. We do feature extraction, we do training, we do analysis. But what is, yes, anybody?
Sir, is it neural network?
Okay, neural network is more specifically concerned with deep learning. I hope you are agree. Okay, so my question is very simple. When you take any learning algorithm, it can be machine learning or deep learning. What is the fundamental operations which are taking place? So basically, it is most of the time it is combination of mathematics and statistics. Okay, so even you take simple regression algorithm. I hope you know what is a regression algorithm. Linear regression. So entire linear regression is only based on all statistical formula. Are you agree with me? Yes. Okay. So this is something you should understand, in my opinion, because nowadays implementing any machine learning algorithm or deep learning algorithm in Python is a very, very simple job. But in my opinion, what is important is how to implement these small assignments, how to write this small program by understanding completely with the mathematical foundation. If you will understand how this linear regression is used to calculate the best fit, then only you will at least think of doing something beyond it. But nowadays what is happening, that is what my worry is, or rather you all will agree with me, that nowadays what is happening, that people are just implementing it in Python by writing a single line to call to that function, and then you're generating output. But in my opinion, what is important is maybe it's sometime when time permits in the future, whenever if you want me to explain how regression works, and then writing a program, regression works on paper, writing a program in Python, and then analyzing the output, that makes sense. Okay, so my request, my appeal to all the participants to understand any machine learning algorithm which you are working on mathematically, writing all calculations on paper with respect to the data set which you are working on, and then you will have, yes, this is how k-means work. Once you understand how k-means algorithm work, which is used for clustering, then you will understand how KNN works, right? When you will understand how KNN works on paper mathematically, then you will find it very more interesting to implement it. Is it clear? Okay, so that is what I would like to share here that what we are interested in, or you should be interested in, not this as a black box, but you should be interested to explore this black box into white box, right? So that you should understand more clearly how this machine learning algorithm works, because unfortunately we have this set of libraries in any programming language. Even you take Python, you can implement k-means in one line. You can implement KNN in one line. You can implement support vector machine in one line. Even you can implement linear regression in one line. Okay. So what is important, as I have already discussed, right? So now moving ahead. So this is, you all know what is which film movie this picture is coming from. So these are some applications of, machine learning and deep learning and artificial intelligence. So we'll start with this now, AI and ML. So AI is not a new term, as already I have discussed. It was coined long back in 1956. Okay, but now why it is so famous? So that is what I started with. The data is the most important reason why this artificial intelligence is taking a good shape today in almost every vertical. Okay, so now please look at this slide very carefully. This slide is talking about what is a relation between AI, ML and DL. Okay, so now there is a lot of confusion, rather, in fact, or there is a lot of discrepancies in understanding what is AI, what is machine learning, and what is deep learning. So I will request all participants to be responsive on my questions, which I will post on this slide. Okay. So what is AI? AI is a bigger picture where entire use case is represented when you say artificial intelligence. But now when you talk about machine learning is subset of artificial intelligence. Means any example which you are representing for AI will be also an example of machine learning. Making sense? Okay. Now when you talk about deep learning is again subset of machine learning. Is it fine? So now I have a question to the participant, that now this is how they are related. Okay, so what is AI, what is machine learning, and what is deep learning? Now when we'll also see the basic definitions on the next slide. The definitions are in my own perspective, so that you will have a very clear picture. But when you talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning and deep learning, so this is how they are related. So deep learning is subset of machine learning. Machine learning is subset of AI, means deep learning and machine learning both are subset of AI. Is it fine? So now my question to you all is, can you give me an example, one example of AI, one specific example only of machine learning, one specific example only for deep learning? Anyone? I'm waiting for your responses in the chat box. Anyone? One example that, sir, this is example of AI. So definitely this is an example of AI. This is also example of ML and DL. I hope you all are agree. Yes. But next question would be, then give me specific example of only machine learning. And next question would be, give me only specific example of deep learning. So I'm waiting for your answers. Come on. No answer? Yes? My question is clear? No answer in the chat box? Okay, my question is, okay, so suppose I will ask you a question that robot. So can you give me what is robot is an example of AI or only machine learning or deep learning? Anyone? Or self-driving cars? Please answer my request to all participants. Then only I will understand what is your understanding, right? Dr. Sakshi Paithani madam. Yeah, so very good. So robot, self-driving self-driving cars. So they will represent, this is the best example of artificial intelligence where it is also using machine learning and deep learning. Absolutely correct. Thank you very much. Okay. Now coming to the next point. Again, question to all. What is Mayuresh sir is yes, AI. Yes, NLP and AI. Absolutely correct. Dipti Karani madam, yes, AI. Absolutely correct. So now coming to the next question, because why I'm asking these questions to you, because you should understand very clearly that yes, I know AI is covering all, but now machine learning is more specific and which is subset of AI. But I would like to know what is example of machine learning now. So can you give me one example of machine learning? Anyone? So now I have given you example in the first case. Now you tell me, give me the example. Anyone? Data science. Okay. Forecasting. Okay. So sir will keep data science aside because you know data science is something which is we'll see that in the next slide. Okay. Forecasting. Okay. Yes. Forecasting. Yes. Handwriting recognition. Very good. Yes. So this is example of class attend. Okay. Automated class. Yes. Very good. So this is example of machine learning. Absolutely correct. Okay. Now give me an example of deep learning. So rather to solve which kind of problem we need deep learning. Anyone? To solve which kind of problem? Yeah, answer is correct. Dr. Sakshi madam, correct. Mayuresh sir is correct. Handwriting, Dipti madam, correct. Kapale sir, correct. Very good. Okay. Now my next question. What is my next question? Classification is deep learning? No. Classification and clustering is machine learning. Please try to understand fundamentally. Okay. Classification and clustering is machine learning. Yes. So now my next question is, what is an example of deep learning? Or which problem you solve with the help of deep learning? Anyone? I will give you examples also, don't worry, because this slide is very, very important from this presentation. Anyone? Prediction is also machine learning. Computer vision. Yes. Yes. Ashwini Joshi madam. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So identification. Please try to understand. Ashwini Joshi madam, clap for you. And I request all participants to clap for you. Absolutely correct answer. So when we have to identify something, so identification problem. Okay. Identification problem is an example of deep learning. Okay. So now I will come to the, again, first point, example of AI or the problem where you need to impart intelligence in the operation by applying classification or clustering or identification. Then that example will become an example of AI. Is it fine? Then when we want to either classify or cluster. So recommendation is example of clustering. Classifying, you know, whether this is tomato or this is strawberry. So this kind of problem will come into machine learning. Okay. Now deep learning. What is deep learning? There are 10 students. 10 students are writing digit 9. Okay. Now machine have to identify which digit it is, because every student will write 9 in its own fashion. You know that every individual have different fonts, writing fonts. Okay. So what problem is of identification. Okay. So such where there is need to identify, then what deep learning, fundamental concept of deep learning is this 9, every digit 9 will be represented by a pixel of, you know, matrix of size 28 by 28 suppose. Then every pixel will be identification of person from biometric data. Absolutely good. So identification, fundamentally identification is a problem which can be solved by deep learning, and clustering and classification can be solved by machine learning, and all three can be solved, you know, will be an example of artificial intelligence. Is it fine? Okay. So how we'll see deep learning on the next slide, but you know how deep learning works. Deep learning is then, you know, your 9, every 9 is represented by a you know, matrix of size 28 by 28. Then it is represented with, it is train, and then it is represented with, you know, input layer. Then there are hidden layers, and then there is output layer. Okay, so this is how deep learning works. But again, there are some lot of discrepancies when researchers or students are implementing deep learning algorithms. So I will also share my experiences with you. So I hope all are agree with me so far. So let's proceed. You're any doubt? What exact difference between machine learning and deep learning? Kapale sir. Okay. The exact difference between machine learning and deep learning is the problem where there is a need to identify can also be solved by machine learning, but it can be more effectively solved with the help of deep learning because it requires more computations. Okay, deep learning is more expensive. Writing a program in deep learning is more expensive as compared to writing a program in machine learning. Okay, now as I'm now, every day I get one or couple of papers for review from entire world. I'm reviewer for almost top 20 journals in my field across the globe. So when I receive any paper and when there is an implementation of deep learning algorithm on normal machine, I reject that paper right immediately. Is it clear? So next question, when we say problem converted from machine to, yeah, I will talk about it, sir, on the next slide. Don't worry. Okay. So when the question is very good, when we should switch from machine learning to deep learning, because deep learning is a subset of machine learning. So this problem also can be solved by machine learning, but somewhere you will find that machine learning, we will see on, I will answer this question on the next slide. Don't worry. Okay. But try to understand deep learning is more expensive, or writing a program or implementing algorithm of deep learning is more expensive, and it requires high performance computing. It should be implemented either on CUDA or it should be implemented on GPU. But when I get any paper, even when I get any thesis of deep learning and where implementation is done on ordinary infrastructure, I straight away reject that thesis, or I straight away reject that paper, because you have to implement deep learning only on high performance computing, that is CUDA or GPU, graphical processing units. Is it clear? Okay. So now I will answer this question on the next slide. So let's move. Okay. So this measure of big data, there is very interesting discussion always on what is big data. So this measure of big data will keep on changing every year, and this measure of big data is very dynamic. Even GB of data was big in 2010, but GB of data is not at all big in 2020. Now even terabyte of data is not big. Even now, zettabyte of data will be big maybe in next couple of years, right? So this is something which is very interesting, and that is only driving your entire machine learning and deep learning. Is it clear? So what are the benefits? When you implement this machine learning and deep learning algorithm, definitely you require large storage, you require high-end programming machines, and definitely this will be implemented somewhere on the cloud, and we never know how these operations are taking place. And that is what is machine learning. We don't want human to intervene, but we want everything to be decided. We want everything to be predicted by machines. Is it clear? But friends, still there are some applications like medical, surgeries, assisting surgeries. Yes, there are healthcare robots which are coming up, but ultimately there is no any replacement for human. So there are some applications, there are some critical applications, domain areas where there is no 100% replacement of human by machine is possible. Is it fine? So now let's go to next. So what is AI? As the name indicates, it describes the ability of machine to mimic like a human, or to imitate human mental process or the behavior, how it works. Okay. So now why this is so? Because AI is using machine learning as well as deep learning, so it is a bigger picture. I give an example of already most of the participants answered correctly that yes, robot, self-driving car, this is an example of AI. Fine. So now mechanical machines are now being automated. So that can be a best example of artificial intelligence. Alexa, I need not tell you, there are many interesting apps available now on your smartphone, which can be also example of artificial intelligence. Okay, so these are some examples: Google Home, Tesla self-driving car. So this is not possible in the Indian context still, but that these are the examples of artificial intelligence. Now, what is machine learning? So see the definition. What is the objective of machine learning? So it is basically a combination of statistics, okay, and some learning algorithms. But there is again a difference between statistics and machine learning. We'll see that, because there is still a lot of debate on is there any difference between actual machine learning and statistics. So we'll see that, okay, and then we'll also see when you deal with machine learning, which kind of problem you solve, because nowadays this data science, which is basically a combination of, there was a question posted that I will answer this question now. So what is data science? Data science is basically an application of AI, machine learning and deep learning along with statistics, along with mathematical theory, is basically a data science. Okay, so in data science, there are no only techniques of machine learning and algorithms of machine learning and deep learning, but along with that, data science also includes some mathematical tools, some statistical tools, and all together is a new branch, which is data science. Is it fine? So now, what is, you can see here, how to efficiently train large complex models. Okay, so this is basically a statistical problem. Okay, you calculate mean, variance, and then you do some statistical calculations, and you carry out this entire training. Fine. Then what is AI? How to train more robust version of AI system. So that goes to artificial intelligence. And then how to design operational models of the brain. That is neuroscience. So that comes in the field of deep learning. Is it fine? So now, just a minute. Okay, is my slide visible? My slide is visible?
Hello.
My slide is visible, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Just to ensure. Fine. So now, what is machine learning? It is a subset of AI which use statistical methods to enable machine to improve its experience. Is it fine? So when you implement any machine learning algorithm, what is input to machine learning algorithm? Input to machine learning algorithm is your data set and past experience. Is it fine? So this is how it differ. This is how it differ from machine learning to deep learning. Deep learning is implementing your entire processing like a human brain thoughts, but and I give you example, like you have to classify which is tomato and which is strawberry. So what we will do, we will have a feature extraction. Then based on the feature, we will see yes, 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 and this is how it is tomato, and this is how it is strawberry. But when you talk about deep learning, it is basically creating a neural network. It can be AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning. It can be ANN, CNN, or RNN. Okay, so when it is ANN, CNN, and RNN, we'll also talk about it, when to use ANN, when to use CNN, because many of those people don't know when to actually apply artificial neural network, when to actually apply convolutional neural network, and when to really use recurrent neural network, RNN. Okay, so please try to understand what is machine learning. It is a subset of AI, as already presented in the Venn diagram. It uses statistical methods, statistical formulas. Actually, that is what maybe sometime in the future, even if we will get time, we'll have 1 hour session on the implementation of basic machine learning assignment, hands-on. so that you will understand first how regression works on paper, then how it is to be implemented, and what is the outcome, and so on. Is it fine? So now, and what it used statistical formula along with past history to improve the performance. Is it clear? To improve the all performance metrics. Fine. So now this is example of machine learning. Can you tell me what it is? Anyone? Can you tell me this example is of which technique from machine learning? Anyone? What we are trying to do here? Please answer. Chat box. Yes. Slide वर जे example दिलेला, yes, regression. Very good, Dipti madam, absolutely correct. So this is an example of regression. So what is regression? Try to understand why we require regression. Because this problem, if there is a data of 50 users, then this problem can be solved by human. Fine. And what is objective? Objective is weight is there and height is there. So what is the best fit? Right? What is the best fit means? Immediately, we should be able to approximate the curve for best fit between weight and height, right? But why we require machine learning here? The machine learning is required because you don't have data of 50, you have data of 2 lakhs, and from the data set of 2 lakhs, how regression technique approximate the data set of 2 lakhs. Is it clear? So that is how machine learning is. And then can anybody answer how this regression works on paper mathematically? So that is more interesting. If you really work on regression, which formula is used, what is the error between actual and estimated value, and then then how you approximate it. Is it clear? So now, so this is an example of machine learning. So here what we do, yes, this is what we will approximate a curve which will best fit the values. Is it fine? And this is the error. The error means the actual value and estimated value. Is it fine? So this is minimizing the error. This is basically a job of regression. And the more actually the regression means it uses error minimization formula mathematically. Those who would like to read it, you can go into it. But what is important is understanding regression on paper and then implement it. Okay. Now this is the most important slide. Please try to understand fundamentally what is the difference between statistic and machine learning, because even I am very sure that there is no any book will give justification on this. So please try to understand. Okay. So what is statistic? We formulate the problem, okay, and then we generate data. Is it fine? So this is what generally statistical problems works. So we formulate the problem. Formulate the problem means we first write the problem what you are supposed to do. Once the problem is formulated, then data is generated. Is it fine? In machine learning, data is there, and from data set you find out the solution. Is it fine? So please try to understand the difference between statistics and machine learning. Okay, but don't forget, machine learning use statistical theory to solve, to learn, to make the machine learn. Is it clear? So now what happens in machine learning? In machine learning, you have data set, and then from that data set you find out the solution. So what you find out the solution? You find out answer of the questions, right? So in machine learning, questions are very expensive, data is very cheap. Okay, whereas in statistics, please try to understand, questions are very cheap, data is expensive. Is it fine? So this is what exactly the difference between statistics and machine learning. Okay, I repeat it again. In machine learning, data is there, data set is there, and on that data set, what you do, you find out the solution. So what do you mean by finding out the solution? Finding out the solution means you find out answer of questions. Okay. So in machine learning, questions are very expensive, data is cheap. Okay. Whereas in statistics, your questions are very cheap, but your data is expensive. Is it fine? Now, when you talk about this entire notion of machine learning and deep learning and artificial intelligence, generally we have three types of problems. And these three problems are descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. Okay. How many of you heard about these three terminologies? Anyone? How many of you knows or heard about these three words? Anyone? Yes? Yes? Have you heard about this? Yes? Have you heard about, yeah, there is something in the chat box. Okay, no problem. So try to understand. This is very important, and I will explain with a very interesting example so that all will have very clear understanding. Okay. Always in this machine learning and deep learning, either you deal with descriptive problem, you deal with predictive problem, or sometimes you deal with prescriptive problem, and then you will only tell me what is the most, which is the most important problem. Okay. What is descriptive problem? Let's take an example of Virat Kohli. Yeah, somebody has raised the hand. So yes, sir. Any question, sir? Devendra Ingre sir has raised the hand. So any question, sir? Devendra sir? Okay, you have raised the hand. Okay, no problem. Fine. No question. Shall I proceed? Okay, fine. So try to understand now. Okay, so suppose you have a data set of, details of Virat Kohli century, when it was first century, date, year, stadium, state, country, age of Virat Kohli. So like this, you have data set of Virat Kohli's century in the past. Okay. What is descriptive problem? Descriptive problem is to find out how many centuries Virat Kohli have completed in year 2003 to 2005. How many centuries have been completed in 2 months of this 2 months of this particular year. Okay, so this problem goes into the category of descriptive problem. I hope the picture is clear. Okay. Now, next problem is predictive problem. So you have same data set. You are, and definitely same data set with past experience. Now, what you are calculating, we are predicting that how many centuries will be completed by Virat Kohli in next, year 2022. So this is a problem which goes into the category of predictive problem. Is it fine? I will also take an example of maybe civil engineering so that you will have more clear picture, because this data science or machine learning or deep learning is not now the restricted to computer, IT or ENTC. It has become an interdisciplinary problem, and that is what next book I am working on. The title of the book is how will you apply data science for engineering problem solving, irrespective of computer, IT or ENTC. I can also use data science for mechanical engineering, civil engineering, and so on. Is it fine? So predictive problem. How many centuries will be completed by Virat Kohli in year 2022 based on the data set which you have of the past, right? So this is a problem which goes into the category of predictive problem. Is it fine? Now, next third problem is prescriptive problem. What is prescriptive problem? Prescriptive problem is what can be done so that Virat Kohli will have 100 centuries in year 2022. So this problem comes into the category of prescriptive problem. I hope the picture is clear. Any doubt on this, please put your responses in the chat box. I am trying to give you example with the help of centuries of Virat Kohli, but it can be any other. I will take one more example from civil engineering to make you understand more clearly. Any doubt? So please try to understand. Before working on a problem, you should have very clear picture whether it is descriptive problem, predictive problem, and or prescriptive problem. Is it fine? Any doubt? Please post your questions in the chat box. I will wait for a couple of, maybe 1 minute. Any question? Yes, let's move. Let's move. Any question? Yes, no, all of the above, none of the above. Okay, prescriptive. So prescriptive problem is what can be done so that Virat Kohli will complete 50 centuries in 2022. Prescription. You are prescribing something that, you know, he has done, highest count was in a year, suppose 23 centuries in a year. So what can be done so that Virat Kohli will have more than 23 centuries in year 2022, because 23 was the highest count in the last data set. I hope the answer is clear now. Dipti madam. Dipti madam, I hope the question is clear, that last highest count for particular year was 23. So now what can be done? What care to be taken so that, you know, Virat Kohli will have more than 23 centuries in coming years? Is it fine? Yes, very good. Okay. So now let's take an example of civil engineering. I have a data set of all bridges, pool, okay, bridge on the road. I have a data set of all bridges in the Maharashtra with me. Like bridge means, details means, now you can think of when it was constructed, when it was, you know, improved with some modifications, what was the type of the bridge, year, and so on. Okay. So I have data set of all bridges with me. Then the descriptive problem, how many times accident has happened on that particular bridge and how many times it was reconstructed with some small improvements. So this problem will be descriptive problem. Predictive problem, how many bridges will require modification to avoid accidents in next 2 years. So this problem will go into the category of predictive problem. Is it clear? Prescriptive problem, I have same data set, what can be done so that there will not be any accidents in next 5 years from these bridges. Is it clear? So this is an example of, again, you know, civil engineering perspective. So same thing, you can think about it. So please try to understand. You have to first think about whether it is a descriptive problem, predictive problem, or prescriptive problem. Is it fine? Understood? Okay. So now let's move to the. Okay. So what is deep learning? As is like a rocket, not rocket science. Okay, and read the slide carefully. Rocket is full of fuel, that is data. Okay, so now there was a question that when to switch from machine learning to deep learning. So I will answer that question now. So what is deep learning? Deep learning is a particular kind of machine learning that is inspired by the functionality of our brain cell. We call it as neuron, and which lead to the concept of, you know, artificial neural network. Okay, or it leads to the concept of neural network. Is it fine? So it is like, you know, more extensive learning as compared to machine learning. Okay, and that is how, you know, the classification and clustering is easy job, but identification is more tough job. And that for some identification problem, machine learning starts underperforming. And then from that point onward, you have to think of switching from machine learning to deep learning. I hope this question was raised by one of the participants. I hope the question is clear. And again, it will be more clear on the next slide. Okay. So output of one system is input to other. No one knows how it works. So correct, because there is a lot of training required. And it is basically a black box for us, because human brain is black box for us. We never know, because human brain is, yeah, and definitely human brain is thinking many things at a time, but, you know, neural network will do only one job at a time. Okay, so now this is what the answer to the question which one of the participants have already posted. What is, look at this graph very carefully. Just a minute, just give me 1 minute. Where is the control? Just a minute, 1 minute. Okay, fine. So you can see here, please look at this figure very carefully, and then you will have very clear answer about when to switch from machine learning to deep learning. So how do data science techniques scale with amount of data? So amount of data is there on the x-axis, performance is there on the y-axis. Okay, so you can see machine learning algorithm are doing good to some extent, means to some size of data, but later on machine learning algorithm is performing constant. Making sense? So from that point onwards, you should start applying deep learning. So what does it mean? Machine learning algorithms are inadequate after that particular size of data set, and then you can think you have to switch to deep learning techniques. But don't forget, when you use deep learning technique, always deep learning algorithms require high performance computing. So don't forget, if you are implementing deep learning algorithms, so don't implement it on this normal machines. You have to implement it on either GPU or you have to implement it on CUDA. Is it fine? Understood? I hope I don't remember somebody asked this question. Let me see so that I can acknowledge. Kapale sir. Kapale sir, are you there? So this question was asked by Kapale sir. Sir, are you there? Kapale sir is not there, so that I can confirm whether his question is answered or not. Kapale sir? Okay, fine. So I hope the question is clear. Yes? Question is clear. Rather, what is the decision point, from when to switch from machine learning to deep learning? So due to increasing size of data, somewhere you will realize that now machine learning algorithms are underperforming. Underperforming means machine learning algorithms are giving same constant performance, even data size is bigger. It is not improving. So from that point onwards, please switch to deep learning. Without any reason, don't switch to deep learning. You should be able to justify. My request to all teachers, those who are maybe students, those who are attending this faculty development program, that whenever a student comes to you, don't just ask your student to use deep learning. First, ask your student to justify that, prove that machine learning algorithms are inadequate. You can have a very good paper on that first, and then you can recommend in the future work. And then that's the reason this problem cannot be solved effectively with the help of machine learning, and then we need to switch from machine learning to deep learning. Is it fine? Any doubt? Okay, so now when you talk about the different use cases, there are lots of use cases. I remember when I was working on one of the European Commission project. Name of the project was EVOL. Okay, and basically what was objective of that project? Objective of that project was to provide emergency medical services to old age people. When to use CUDA or GPU? Yes, deep learning algorithms can be implemented on either CUDA or GPU. There is no, it is up to you whether you have CUDA available with you or whether you have GPU, NVIDIA graphics card, graphics processing unit. So you have GPU or you have CUDA. There is no difference. You do it on CUDA or you do it on GPU. Both are same for deep learning algorithm. Is it fine? So when I was working on this project, basically, the medical data, physiological data is collected from old age people with the help of body area network, and you will not believe 63 petabyte of data was posted on the cloud in every minute. Okay, 63 petabyte of data was posted on the cloud every minute. We had our own cloud situated in the Norway. So that 63 petabyte of data in 1 minute. So think about 24 hours. Okay. So and then we were using machine learning algorithm, and somewhere we realized that yes, machine learning algorithms are not adequate now. Somewhere we have to switch to deep learning. But again, every deep learning algorithm will not solve the purpose of machine learning algorithm. So you have to do some kind of customization. You have to implement your own technique, and then you have to get your work done. So it is like problem analysis. in the context of, or data set analysis in the context of this, machine learning and deep learning is very, very important. So I hope so. Try to look at this slide. This slide is very, very important. When to switch from machine learning to deep learning. Very clear. So now, as already I given you an example, but again, when you really implement deep learning algorithm on maybe GPU, maybe on CUDA, you will understand that yes, this is how really it require high performance computing. You have to run your machine for maybe in hours. I have next to where I'm sitting next to my lab, I have machines with GPU, and one of my research scholar is implementing his deep learning algorithm since yesterday. Okay, and still still his algorithms are running, and still we have not received any output. And that is how deep learning algorithm works. Never implement deep learning on normal machine, your work will not be accepted. Is it fine? Okay, so now this is how deep learning works. So as already as I tell you, input layer, then there are hidden layers, and then finally there is output layer. So identification problem, it is from group of pictures, something is being identified, family group photo, something is being identified. So this is what is deep. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Okay, because my laptop is connected on my hotspot, and whenever I get a call, it is becoming disconnected. So that's what I'm ensuring. Okay, I'm audible. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so this is how deep learning works. Okay, so now what I personally feel that the teachers, those who are guiding their master project or PhD thesis on deep learning, so you can have very good paper on motivation for deep learning. Why for your work you have to go for deep learning? So you can have one paper on that, justifying machine learning algorithms are inadequate for this data set, and then it is starting underperforming, and that is how we require deep learning. Is it fine? So there are very good books on machine learning and deep learning. There are very good study material is available on machine learning and deep learning. But for machine learning, Mitchell is one of the good book. I hope you have referred that book, or you must have read that book. But that is a really good book on machine learning. Maybe I will also share some of the good present PPTs I have from MIT professor. I attended his course. His name is Zhenghua Tan. Zhenghua Tan. He's a Chinese professor, and I attended his 3 days course in Germany in 2014. So I have also presented PPTs prepared by him. So maybe I will share maybe by tomorrow with Swati Madam, so that Swati Madam can share that presentations with you also. It's completely mathematics. So when you will look at that slides, you will understand that yes, machine learning is completely math. It's not just writing a program in one line. Is it fine? So these are some problems. This is a real picture I took. This picture is from this. Have you heard about Munich, Germany? Okay, so this is how it real picture. This is not real picture. So what you require is for deep learning, you require TensorFlow. So TensorFlow is a multi-dimensional array where there is a graph of operations are done in the form of graph with lots of mathematical operations. So you have to start your study. So because when you talk about implementing machine learning and tools, you need to know Python, you need to know Anaconda platform. Then there is a deep learning 4J. Eclipse is supporting deep learning. You must have heard about IBM Watson. IBM Watson is very interesting tool which is used widely. So it's very interesting to implement on real time this machine learning and deep learning. So I think just 1 minute. If you will have any question in the future, you can always feel free to contact me. My slide is visible, my email ID and my mobile number.
Yes, sir.
Swati madam? Okay.
Yes, sir.
My slide with email ID and mobile number is visible.
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay. So the participant can note down my email ID, my mobile number. It is also WhatsApp number. You can put your queries on WhatsApp number. Number is very easy. 9822 I think with this I would like to conclude, but I will be happy to answer your questions for next 10 minutes because then at 11:30 I have another meeting. So as I discussed with Swati madam yesterday. So we'll have your question. We'll take up your question answer session maybe for next 10 minutes, and then maybe I will try to conclude. But but before that, I would like to ask you one basic question that I hope the objective of attending this FDP is clear or not. I hope you got some inputs from this session. Okay. Over to all participants. Please ask questions if you have. Please. Any question?
Hello. Participants are requested to unmute and ask the questions.
Yeah. I will be happy to answer your all questions because that's why you are here. I am here, right?
Hello. Shraddha madam, can you make that setting so that the participants can unmute themselves?
Yes, ma'am. Participant.
Yeah.
can
Participant la unmute rise there.
Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Whichever question, don't worry. Always, we should ask questions, and don't worry. I will try to make you happy. Absolutely, don't worry about it. So, any question? No question means everything is clear or nothing is clear, or all of the above or none of the above. There are only few cases.
Sir,
Any question?
maybe the case that you have answered many questions
During
in
the
your
session
itself.
Okay.
One question
Fine.
is there, sir.
Any question?
Chat box. Yes, sir. There's in the chat box. It's from Ashwini Joshi, ma'am. Can you please tell some resources to study ML and DL with implementation aspects?
Okay, very good. See, machine learning and deep learning, there are very good courses on Coursera which are available with implementation. But first, Ashwini madam, what I will suggest you to understand machine learning on paper. Implementation is really not a big, maybe if you are from ENTC background, maybe implementation can be a bit worry for you, but don't worry at all. कारण आज machine learning and deep learning मध्ये जो research होतो आहे, it is not quality research because all are using existing data set and existing algorithm and implementing it. Is it fine? So what is important is understanding existing algorithms on paper from good books, and then you can use any, don't worry about it. All code is available on GitHub. Have you heard about GitHub? All codes are available on GitHub. Don't worry, just you have to customize it. Okay, I hope your question is answered. Very good. Any other question? Swati madam, any other question?
Sir. The question is, in many ML algorithms, like accuracy is very important and it is dependent on training and testing data.
Yes.
So what is your comment on this, sir?
It is the ideal, again, you can do some experimentation on this, and that's the reason why 80-20 is recommended. Okay. But if you will again vary this proportion, you will find a lot of difference in the performance. But somewhere, due to cross-validation techniques and the recommendation by researcher, 80-20 is recommended. But don't stick to that. You can do some experimentation, and maybe for your data set, it might vary. Okay, so I always ask my student to do variation in this testing and training percentage, so that you can fine tune somewhere. It is not necessary that you should follow the ideal recommendations which are there in the literature. Is it clear? Okay, so always you should think about, you should vary and you should check because it might vary from data set to data set. Is it fine? Okay, any other question?
So the next question is there any image processing algorithm that can learn on its own and take the feature on its own and provides the diagnosis result, like in
image processing algorithm cannot learn. You have to use machine learning algorithm to
machine
learn.
Learning. Yeah,
you can. So you can. You can use any it depends on what kind of problem you are solving. If it is classification problem, then you can go for k-means or KNN. If it is, clustering problem. If it is classification problem, then you might use the decision tree. So it depends. That is what is, these all algorithms are there. But you have to think about what is a data set, what is nature of data set, because that algorithm might underperform for the data set is not structured. Some algorithms are good for unstructured data set, right? As you know that artificial neural network we generally use when our data set is numeric. CNN, convolutional neural network, we should use when my data set is in the form of images. When you have time series data set, then we should go for recurrent neural network, RNN. So this will vary from data set to data set. Is it fine? I hope the question is answered.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Question is answered.
So if no question,
the last question, sir.
Yeah.
One more question. You told about mathematical foundation is very important as such while implementing any of the research work. So can you suggest any material or the book for this mathematical?
Mitchell is good book. Mitchell is good book. Tom Mitchell is good book. And I will also share the PPTs by Zhenghua Tan. कारण की त्या PPT मला असं वाटते पर्सनली की त्या PPT सगळ्यांनी व्यवस्थित समजून घ्याव्यात. त्या PPT सगळ्यांना समजल्या तर डोंट वरी, यू विल एन्जॉय मशीन लर्निंग मोर. राईट? सो आय विल शेअर. मॅडम मला रिमाइंड करा दुपारी कधी मी तुम्हाला पाठवतो. स्वाती मॅडम.
Okay, sir. Now we are at the end of session. Okay.
Yeah.
So on behalf of JSPM's Rajeshri Shah College of Engineering, Department of ENTC, I, Dr. Swati Bisikar, take this privilege to propose vote of thanks for today's speaker, Dr. Parikshit Mahalle sir. He has given insight on AI, ML, DL in depth, and he has told us when and where and how to use what type of algorithms, and also explored in detail what is the difference between AI, ML, and DL. So I'm sure that every participant has getting benefited with the sir's knowledge. And sir, thank you very much for sparing your valuable time. Thank you very much.
Always. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to all participants. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Thanks. So participants, now you are requested to be here.